Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rajkar and today I shall be discussing a child's first visit to the dental office. The first dental visit is an extremely important step in a child's lifelong oral health. It's important for children to visit a dentist early to ensure that they're off to a good start with their oral health. The goal is to have a child visit the dentist before there are any problems with his or her teeth. In most cases, a regular dental checkup every 6 months will help the dentist to find out and catch little dental problems early and fix them right away. It can also help you to find out if the cleaning that you are doing at home is working or not. Apart from these, it can also help your child to learn that visiting a dentist helps to prevent problems. The American Dental Association advises parents to establish a dental home for their child around their first birthday or within 6 months after the appearance of the first tooth in the mouth. This time frame is a perfect opportunity for the dentist to carefully examine the development of your child's mouth. At this time, the dentist can also address your other concerns like thumb sucking, teething irritation, pacifier use, nutritional needs, and lots more. Dental problems start as early as the appearance of the first tooth in the mouth, and so the sooner a child visits the dentist, the better it is. The fact is that baby teeth are very important, and early loss of baby teeth is very bad for the development of adult teeth. Some parents believe that baby tooth loss is like simply losing a tooth which is going to be replaced anyways. However, it's important that you consider it this way. Baby teeth save the seat for the all-important adult teeth. They reserve space and volume for the adult teeth to erupt. If lost early, adult teeth can erupt in the wrong place. There can also be difficulties with eating and speech articulation. Further, there is no nice way of losing a baby tooth. If a baby tooth has to be extracted, it might have to occur under a mild general anesthesia, an option which I'm not a big fan of, or even under local anesthesia, which might be traumatic for a little one. If these issues can be monitored and treated early on, or even better, if preventive measures can be put in place to avoid such issues from happening in the first place, then these are always better options. If you have yet to take your child to a dental clinic, then I suggest you better hurry up. Just imagine your child's first dental appointment when they're 5 or 6 years of age. You're introducing them to this new strange world which is full of weird sounds and smells. I bet a mini freakout won't come as too much of a shock. Younger children are malleable, and by starting early, you normalize the idea of visiting a dentist. They will slowly get accustomed to the sights and smells of your local dental clinic. So, here are a few tips to help you find the best dentist for your child. You can begin by taking suggestions from other parents in your neighborhood, or you could even ask for a referral from your child's doctor. You can visit websites which list dentists in your local community or neighborhood. It's a good idea to consider visiting a pediatric dentist at this point. You might be happy with your own dentist, and this could be a good choice for you, but not necessarily for your child. A sterile adult dental environment might not bother you, but most children's dentists design their dental offices to be kid-friendly. A pediatric dental office appears to be different from your own. The moment you walk in, children are immediately drawn to the puzzles, toys, books and games which are available in the waiting area, which itself is decorated with bright and cheerful murals. Pediatric dentist is considered to be the big authority on little teeth, and these dental professionals are highly trained to respond to the questions, emotions and dental needs which are particular to children. They make the entire experience positive, playful and educational for spirited mini patients. A perfect pediatric dentist is the one who is gentle and has lots of patience with all types of kids, including the fidgety and hyperactive ones. They take plenty of time to explain each and every procedure before performing them, and which in turn helps to build the doctor-patient trust. So here's a list of questions that you might want to ask while choosing a new dental clinic. Is your clinic taking new patients? Do you accept insurance plans? Do any of your staff speak my language? Can they translate so I can understand? Does clinic staff have training or experience treating young children? What happens during a new patient visit? This one is important as then there are no surprises when you do actually visit. When is your clinic open? Is it open on evenings or on weekends? In case of a dental emergency, if your dental office is closed, then what options do I have? What information or forms do I need to bring so as to fill out your paperwork? Are there any other books, toys or other things for children in your waiting room? That kind of sums it up. Now moving on to getting them ready for the big day. I'm sure most of us can relate to the fact that behavior in infants and young children is at best unpredictable. Fuzziness and crying during a dental appointment is considered age appropriate and not a sign of a positive or a negative experience. When talking about the dental visit to a child who's 3 years or older, it's best to talk about it a little like you're visiting your local supermarket or shopping center. This is the best way of subconsciously promoting to the child that visiting a dental office is normal, easy, and everyday. The last thing that you as parents should do is give them a choice or show any kind of anxiety or prejudice about going to the dentist. Dental fears and phobias are some of the most common ones around. And if you have dental anxiety, then you must try to avoid letting your fear bleed over to your child. Young children are a lot more perceptive than you might believe them to be. They pick up on anxiety, which in turn makes them feel more anxious. Try to speak to them in a calm and matter-of-fact way, and try to stay calm in the lead up to the dental appointment. Normal, easy, and everyday should be your new mantra. This is the best way of promoting a fear-free experience. Kids love playing pretend. They pretend to be astronauts, firefighters, teachers, and everything in between. So why not play dentist? If you ask me, this is one of the most effective ways of getting your child on board with the idea of visiting the dentist. By using play, you're teaching them what to expect, associating dental visits with fun, and teaching them the importance of dental health. I strongly recommend that in the beginning at least, you yourself play the role of the dentist. The reason? Your child trusts you, and by playing the role of the dentist, you are subconsciously telling them that dentists can be trusted just like you. You can ask them to lie down on the couch and take a small mirror and pretend to count their teeth. Make sure to give lots of encouragement and praise when they seem to be cooperating with your instructions. Cartoon videos and books about dental visits are also good resources to spark their interests and eliminate fears. These will also make them more likely to come along willingly when the time comes for their dental visit. Avoid bribes. Bribery, which is the go-to technique of many a parent out there. While winning them over with promises of toys can help in the short term, it comes with 3 major problems. First, it makes the trip down to the dentist into a big deal. After all, if it's big enough for mom and dad to be offering bribes, then surely a dental checkup must be a bad thing. Secondly, some more savvy kids can cotton on and realize that they can demand bigger and bigger treats. Needless to say, this can lead to a less than pleasant attitude developing. Finally, many parents resort to offering candies and lollies of all the things to convince their child to go to the dentist. I'm sure you can see the problem with this approach. Of course, this doesn't mean that you can't harness the power of treats. Just make sure that any treats that you give are relatively small, given without ceremony, and given afterwards. All this helps to build positive association, which is also known as classical conditioning. Eat beforehand. Many parents assume that it's best to leave eating until after the treatment is over. Needless to say, this doesn't work. Think about how cranky you can get on an empty stomach, and now think about how easy it is for a child to get tantrums, and it quickly becomes obvious why eating is important to secure your child's cooperation. As long as the food is healthy and you make sure to brush and if required even floss afterwards, I am sure your dentist won't mind either. A good rule of thumb is to avoid eating milk, eggs and bananas before any dental visit. The first dental visit usually lasts between 15 to 30 minutes and depending upon the child's age will include some or all of the points which I am about to discuss. The appointment usually begins with thorough history taking, which includes the medical history of the child and the dental histories of both the child as well as the parents. Following which, the dentist will gently but carefully examine your child's teeth, gums, jaw bite, as well as the other tissues in the mouth. Often, because of the child's age and behavior, a knee-to-knee examination takes place so that your child feels you close by on your lap while the dental team examines and provides treatment. Treatment is in the form of a gentle cleaning and polishing to remove plaque, tartar and stain buildup, following which topical application of fluorides might be done if required. At this point, X-rays if needed will take place. The dentist will then discuss the overall oral health of your child, including growth and development. They will also address your concerns for teething, pacifier use and sucking habits. They will discuss feeding habits like nursing, bottle feeding and use of sippy cups. Infants' risk for developing decay will be assessed and prevention strategies will be discussed. Dental staff will then demonstrate to the parents as well as the child the correct way of cleaning the child's teeth and mouth. The discussion will also involve accident and trauma prevention counseling, which should ideally include a discussion about play objects, pacifiers, electric cords, and even car seats. Towards the end, recommendations will be given regarding daily home care, which includes hygiene, diet and nutrition, as well as fluoride use. This concludes your child's first dental visit. Children should be seen by a dentist from time to time, and they should visit a dental office at least twice a year or more if recommended. This not only ensures that you stay up to speed with your child's oral development, but it also helps to keep problems at bay and squash your child's dental fears. With the right medical and dental advice, lots of love and good common sense, parents can enjoy happy, healthy and contented babies. Stay tuned for more information on oral conditions in infants and toddlers in my next videos. In the meantime, keep smiling and namaste.